Hey, we're back, and this time around we're back with some goblin build orders. Now, goblins are a little bit similar to dwarves, as they do not really have too many build orders, but however, their build orders are quite flexible and allows you to adapt in a lot of situations here. And so the first build is just going to be the standard build. You could do quite a bit with this one. It's quite flexible here. So starting with this one, you kind of want to have an always a production of goblins at all times. You have to always produce them, and you would most likely need a fourth goblin cave against goblins Mordor and Angmar, just because those are pretty spam heavy matchups. You gotta have more and more gobs in those matchups, and a fisher is kind of recommended if you want some like tough units in your army, like some tanks, some good old tanky damage dealers there. And a spider pit is recommended against cavalry, as the spiderlings are actually very good against cavalry. They're very quick and chase them down. And spider riders are always pretty useful because they can just be used in bow mode to support your ground forces. Alright, so let's see this one in action right away. Alright, we're loaded in here, and let's make those tunnels. So with the tunnels, you want to position them in a way that makes a lot of sense here. You want to position it so the white area here is facing outward. You'll see when these tunnels are finished, so when you're placing them, like hold down left click and then rotate your mouse, of course, to see this like white area on the tunnel. You want to place it this way because that is where the units will escape or come out of the tunnels. And you want to place them so they are kind of outward. So when you evacuate your goblins, they will come out in this general area here. And that is very, very useful to note. So rotate them so that white kind of skull area here is always facing outwards. That way your goblins will always evacuate and protect your goblin, or your base more rather. Alright, so we made that goblin cave, making another tunnel here. And make a goblin battalion here, not an archer, just a goblin, and another gob cave right away. I like to protect my tunnels a bit here, like just like that. And of course we have this one facing outward, so every time we evacuate a goblin from this tunnel, they will come out this way instead of back here, which would be kind of useless because we want to defend. So we put them in for now. And keep on making goblins. Always make a just always make these guys. And plus, we should be expanding across the map here, to be fair. Because we're goblins, we gotta use our tunnel network to our advantage here. So let's get some nice tunnels, maybe somewhere close to this guy's base, so we can kind of sneak attack here. And for our power, we'll just grab the war chant for now. Goblins actually have very good first power point choices. These are all pretty good. And of course their level 10s are also fairly good as well. Scavenger, Wildmen, Spider Allies, and Untamed Allegiance. These are all very good. So can't go wrong there. So just like this, see, when we evacuate here, the goblins are coming out this way. Right? Actually they come out like this way, so it's useful to do this with caves. It's actually not perfect. You can actually maybe rotate it more this way so they come out kind of here instead of like here. So we got our builders moving into position here for some cheeky tunnels here. Don't lose your builders. Keep on making goblins here. And of course, we want to make that third one as well. I don't know what we're doing with the builders here. This is actually not the right thing to do. I'm more used to playing super aggressive here, but don't do this. Don't send both your builders out, for instance, because we need that goblin cave and the spider or fisher as well. So we're just kind of playing very defensive. I haven't seen him coming yet. So it's a good way to play as goblins as well. Play a bit defensive with your goblins at the start. You can also play aggressive. But I like doing this because if they attack, you can just evac your goblins and protect your base, clean them up, and you'll have a very good time. Alright, so our third cave here, it's very, very late. And we're playing against dwarves, so 3 caves and into a spider pit or a fissure. We'll send some goblins here. We can actually creep with the goblins. And I'm kind of just waiting for an attack at this point. Use the poison blades here against the wargs. And it's actually works pretty well against these wargs. You can creep quite well. There they are. So once they are here, use poison blades. Evac some more goblins here. And we'll just defend very, very nicely here, just like this. Keep on making these goblins, of course. And we're gonna go right into that spider pit. And we have a lot of money. At this point, I mean, just keep on making goblins. You can even make a hero at this point, like Azog is very, very nice. Get that spider pit leveled up. Mix some spider riders in. In bow mode, they're quite effective as a really kind of a supporting force. And we're just gonna do a big attack here. Might as well. We can kind of move out here, evac all of our gobos, and just do a big attack. In the meantime, keep on putting your goblins in the tunnels, level up the spider pit. Make goblins at all time. We've been doing a bad job here, but I'm just trying to explain a few things here. So make sure you don't forget to keep producing goblins here. We have a ton here. We can just go in. We can actually war chant ourselves like that. Split off here. Some over here. Some up here. Keep on splitting these guys up so we are attacking at all costs. At all sides here. And of course, we're gonna keep on expanding around his base here. Keep on making those goblins. And he's actually attacking our base, so gotta be a little bit extra careful here. And get these guys also into his base here. Already kind of doing a good job here. And just like that, I mean, Spider Pit is leveled. Get some Spider Riders out. Put them into bow mode. If they have pikes, for instance. If they don't have pikes, you can always just trample the Spider Riders. And if they have a lot of pikes, put them in bow mode. Right click on their, like, poison arrow ability. And it'll auto-cast that. Now let's clean up here. Dwarves are quite tanky. Keep on putting your gobos in the tunnels. I mean, expand all over the place. Your goblins, you want to swarm over them all over the place here. We're just all over them at the moment. Split them up here, all over the place, and just like that. Wreak havoc here. And Spider Riders, see, they do have bow mode. You can alternate here. And they do have this nice ability called Poison Arrows. You can just right click on this and it'll just auto cast it whenever they can, which just saves you a lot of time. And keep on just swarming over them. Go into like heroes at this point. You can even get half trolls, get a fisher. You can get an armory as well, get some upgrades, get some fire arrows on those spider riders, for instance. And you can just do a bunch of things here. Whatever you feel is right. And let's move on to that next build. Alrighty, moving into our next build. It's going to be the Goblin Rush. Now, this one's not really used much at all. It's a bit kind of risky / weak. The rush isn't too great because they're just goblin battalions. And your economy is going to be a little bit worse here, but it can definitely catch your opponent off guard here if you do a very nice quick attack. And also this one could work if you're trying to capture maybe a neutral structure, an unguarded neutral structure on the map. You could get there very quickly before your opponent and secure that for yourself as well. So let's check this one out. Alrighty, so with this one we're gonna do a tunnel here, just like this. With that Gob Cave. Very quick rush here. Pick up War Chant. And we're just gonna do a big rush here. Or a quick rush. Like I said, this one's not used too often, but I mean it could work in some situations. I'm gonna send our builder across the map. And we're gonna rush with that builder. We're gonna make a tunnel here, make some goblins, and keep expanding inside of our base here. Make sure to, of course, once again, position your tunnel so that kind of skull placement is facing outward. Exactly like this skull. These skulls should be facing always outward in some special way there. That way your units will come out in a very nice fashion. And we're gonna make a goblin tunnel just like this over here. So actually there's some rocks here. We can make use of this and position them once again so they actually come out like this. And now we're gonna wait for 2 battalions of goblins here because we're gonna war chant them up and do a nice little sneak attack. And of course after this you can always go into more goblin caves. You can get a fissure, you can get a spider pit. It's really up to you what you want to do. These are just kind of like template build orders for like the very start. Of course it's not going to cover middle to late game. It's just very early starting build orders that you can just kind of adapt to yourself or make them more flexible throughout the entire game. So we have 2 battalions here. We're going to evac them out. And we're going to actually war chant here, put one over here, and then split one over there. So we make use of this war chant a lot more effectively instead of just stacking on one general spot here. We're gonna split up. We can even hotkey these guys so we have easier control here. Keep making goblins back at home. I'm gonna even make another tunnel here just for later if he does find this initial one that we have placed. And we already taken out 2 mine shafts, which is pretty good. Now, and in a PvP scenario, the dwarf will probably have mine shafts scattered across the map, not really in his base, so this one might be a little bit... It's not gonna really work too well against dwarves, to be fair. But we'll see. And definitely in skirmish, it definitely can work quite nice here. Alright, we're gonna probably get that one, yes indeed. Let's get out of here. Those goblins are level 2, so they can actually regenerate. And they're actually in our base at the moment, so let's evac here. We're gonna get stuck a little bit here. Let's see if we can defend. And I mean, this is pretty much the build. It's a very quick rush. And you can just really follow this up with anything Spider Pit Fissure, more Gob Caves, get a hero. Whatever you feel like is going to work here, and get some Spiderlings, for instance. He did take care of our tunnel, but that's fine. But I mean, this is pretty much it. You just want to be very aggressive, do a bunch of sneak attacks, catch your opponent off guard, and then move into something more juicy and tanky. So let's get moving to that next one. Our next build is going to be the Spiderling Opener. This one's a pretty popular one as it's fairly effective. Spiderlings are very quick and can do a ton of harassing damage. Now, this one works pretty well against men, elves, and Eisen, but it could also work in other matchups just fine. And in this one, you can do a few things. If you know your opponent is very aggressive, you want to get that Goblin Cave out as soon as you can because you want to have some goblins to defend your base because you're going to be quite vulnerable with this Spiderling Opener. Especially if he starts with like pikes, you're going to be in trouble and you need those goblins out ASAP. Now, I like to do a different build with this one. It's a little bit more riskier because you're going to be vulnerable for quite a while. But I'll show you my version of the build. Well, not my version, but the one I like to do. And we'll see it in action here. Alright, we're loaded in. Let's get those 2 tunnels out here ASAP. Yes, we're gonna grab War Chant here. And like I said, if you know your opponent is quite aggressive, you want to get that Goblin Cave down ASAP, because you're gonna need that defense. I like to do something a little bit different here, and I like to go into a Fissure next after the Spider Pit and get some half trolls out. That way I have some Spiderlings that are super quick. They can do a lot of harassing damage. They can be very annoying. They can also creep warg layers pretty nicely. And then I like to get those half trolls going, because those are like the counter opposites of Spiderlings. They're very tanky. They do quite a bit of damage. They are just beefy boys. So kind of like that. A little bit more than just going pure weak goblins. So we're gonna make those Spiderlings as soon as we can here. And we're gonna be harassing with them right away. I'm gonna send a builder out to maybe make some kind of forward mine. Keep this one in our base, because we're gonna make that second production building. So here, like, generally you want to just make that Goblin Cave ASAP. I like to wait and make that Fissure. Personal preference, but it really depends on how aggressive or how passive your opponent is. It's really what it comes down to. We got some Spiderlings out. You can either, with this battalion, you could start creeping the wargs right away. Pretty simple. Or you can attack. I like to attack first. Use that War Chant. See what our opponent is doing. And with the second battalion, you can actually start the creeping procedure here. And I like to go right into that Fissure. And once again, buff up our Spiderlings here, and of course do as much damage as you possibly can here. That buff's going to give us a lot of damage potential. And with these guys, we're going to creep the warg lair quite easily. And boom, just like that, we already have a mine shaft. They're going to just be very annoying. Also, this isn't really too bad against dwarves either, because you can kind of sneak up behind their mine shafts and kind of cause a lot of damage. Especially, that's what I am worried about here. This is the worst case scenario when they go for this kind of early pike rush. You're going to be very vulnerable. That's why you want that Goblin Cave out instantly in cases like this. Because Spiderlings are very weak against pikemen. Never fight pikes with these guys. They will just get destroyed. But we do have some half trolls out. But we might lose one tunnel here, but that is going to be fine. Let's make some more around here. And these guys should be coming out very soon here. And we're going to try to go up behind them a bit here. Micro. Even get these guys kind of flank these guys. Keep on move commanding into these guys so they kind of flank them pretty nicely here. We probably won't save this. It's going to be very close. We might actually save that just because the Spiderlings arrived to flank them. And just like that, I mean, we kind of did pretty decently, even though we didn't go for those goblins right away. And with these guys, of course, you want to creep this money and go to the next one. And just be very annoying. Put the guys in here. Keep making them. You can always take this up to go into Spider Riders. And also be very proactive across the map with these guys. And then eventually you want to get those half trolls out. Group them up with your Spiderlings and then use War Chant on all of them. And do just a very giant push here. It's going to be quite effective. You can split the Spiderlings up. Use your half trolls to kind of tank their infantry. Spiderlings can move across the map and do a lot of eco damage. Get some Spider Riders out. Keep expanding. We haven't been expanding too well. You want to just be expanding as much as you can. Doing as much harassing damage. Get those half trolls going. Then stack them all up here. And just do a big push here. Imagine if we had War Chant. Get your Spiderlings like close to this. Like say we had a War Chant here. We could always just go like this. Get everyone really close together. Boom, use War Chant on everything. And then split these guys up. And we don't want to be fighting with the Spiderlings, for instance. We're going to split them up like this. Use your half trolls to tank their army. And go for their eco buildings with these Spiderlings, for instance. And also try to defend yourself. And just like that, it's pretty much going to be the build for this one. And let's move on to that next one. Moving into our last build, it's going to be the half troll opener. Now with this one, usually you want to start with the half troll marauders and creep a troll lair, capture an inn, and then you can build yourself some corsairs, mix in those corsairs with some half trolls, and just be quite annoying there. Have half trolls and corsairs, and of course you can also mix in some goblins there as well, and it's just an overall pretty a decent build as a creep starter build. So let's check this one out. Alright, we're loaded in. Once again, the double tunnel here. Builder, get moving. Alright, once again, let's start with the war chant here. And this time around, we're going to be building that fissure. After these two are done, or after this first one is done, start that fissure up here. Boom. And with this builder, I'm going to send him down here. He's going to be making a mine here, so you can actually creep the troll with these guys. Half troll pikemen or half troll marauders are one of the best pikes in the game. Maybe the only one that's better maybe is Angmar's Hill Troll Pikes. But Marauders are super good because you can just A-move and creep the troll without having to micro around or lure the troll. But you can also just do the builder lure strat. There's a rock here. We can make use of this rock somehow. Just like this, for instance. Protect our mine a bit here. And we're going to make that third one probably in our base. So we're going to make these half-troll marauders. Starting things off. As soon as we can afford them. Rally them right into that tunnel right next to it. And we're going to kind of come out here. Use our builder. I mean, why not? It saves our half-troll marauders some HP. It's not too shabby. Alright, we're going to expand once again in our base, or you can expand across the map. It really depends on your style here. You can also just send this builder across the map and start expanding. Probably a better idea, maybe creep some wargs, maybe creep the other troll if you can. But we're gonna do this here, get our builder over here. So we can trigger the troll. We're gonna run away now. And we're gonna send the half trolls right behind the troll. This way we can just put him in an aggressive stance and creep him from behind. And we're gonna expand aggressively across the battlefield here. Make some half-troll swordsmen now. And we also need a goblin cave. Look at this, we creep this very easily. Capture this. Afterwards, this inn. Make some corsairs. Mix them in with the Molotov cocktail stance they have. And they'll be quite effective here. Our builder, uh-oh, that was close. Don't want to lose our builder. It's like that gob cave now. Boom, mix in some gobos. Looks like he's over here already, sniffing us out. We'll make some corsairs right away. Try to defend ourselves here. We have some half trolls ready to defend. Get these guys like kind of behind them, move into them. Get these guys out. And also move these guys a little bit into them. That way they're kind of more engaged. Boom. And we're going to make some more tunnels around his base, for instance. Make some goblins. And move this builder over here, for instance. And we're defending this one, which is very good. We're also going to have some corsairs joining the battlefield soon. Rally them to the tunnel, for instance. And we can also creep this on the way there. While we gather an army worthy of gobos. Keep on making stuff. You can also just make a tunnel here, for instance. Maybe it's a bit too close. Boom, we can creep that war glare at some point. Boom, just like this. Move this guy around here. Keep expanding around the opponent's base. Get those gobos in. Corsairs already. Switch them over to their other stance here. And that way they become ranged units. And we'll actually evac here. Just like this. Look at that position of that tunnel here. That skull is positioned here, so the units will come out this way. And that way we can defend just like that. Perfect defense. They can't really do too much against us. And just like that, we're going to get everything together. Big war chant and split everyone off a little bit to go in different directions here. Keep making stuff across the battlefield. Expanding our mines. Make some more Corsairs. Get these guys kind of maybe over here. Boom, boom, boom. Get these guys on that thing. Some goblins. He has a demo out. Get it back away from it a little bit. Our pike should be able to deal with that demo. And we'll keep on coming out here. Our archers are here. Right click on their poison arrow so they auto cast this. Just like this. If you right click on this, it will just auto cast at any time it's available. Great way to min-max it, to always have it firing. We can pick up Tainted Land here. Once our buff runs out, we'll make use of that. Right in front of his base. Get all these guys in here. Bum, 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 bum. We can also get Azog now, a very good unit here. Corsairs are out into the battlefield here. And of course, we do have the charge attack. We can also just use it on this. Boom. Gives ourselves some nice damage buffs. He's making some battle wagons now. Yeah, we are on Tainted Land, so we're doing quite a bit of damage to it. And get everyone out once again. And just like that's pretty much the build in a nutshell. I mean, we need more production than this. We need more gob caves, for instance. A lot more. And spider pits. We can even go double fisher if you want to produce them like crazy. And later on, I mean, it really depends once again what you want to do. You can always take up into maybe some cave trolls, some mountain giants, maybe even some fire drakes. Get Gorkill, Azog, Drogoth, always very nice indeed. And just keep reinforcing, be very proactive across the map. And always be harassing all over the place here. Make sure you're always putting your guys into the tunnels here. And make sure you're always hawking your production buildings for ease of access here. And just expanding all over the place. And that's pretty much going to be the build order guide for goblins. I mean, these are just kind of openers, so mid to late game, once again, it's up to you to decide what you think is going to be best for you in whatever situation you're in. If you see that, I don't know, it's really hard to explain. You just gotta play, gotta practice. You gotta just know what's good in whatever circumstances you're in. And I mean, it's just about playing, getting better at the game, expanding, getting a bit quicker, learning the hotkeys. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it for the goblins here. They don't have too many builders, but they can be quite flexible and allows you to go for quite a few strats. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Next one's going to be Ingmar. If you enjoyed this build order guide, consider leaving a like, leave a sub as well, and I'll see you guys in the next one for Angmar. And until next time, guys, hope you guys learned something from this, and I'll see everyone next time.